Welcome to the Mystery Mouse podcast. My name is Holly, and I'm coming to you from Colorado, where I live with my husband and our 5 kids and our many pets. And today is February 18th, 2023, and I have a lot to talk about today. So this is mostly about knitting and more knitting, no, and some books. So let me talk to you about FOs. I have no FOs today. I was going to show some old things that I had knit, but then I decided not to. So I don't have any finished objects, but I have a lot of whips, and I have a surprise whip that is making an appearance after like a couple of years of not working on it. So that was going to be interesting. First of all, let me show you my Beauty and the Beast sweater. I have been working on this. It's probably going to look about the same as it did last time, but I have been working on this, and I think I've gotten another repeat done of my fleur-de-lis pattern on the bottom. So that's going well. I cannot wait to wear this sweater. I just need to keep working on it. Fortunately, it is at that point right now where it's pretty mindless. I mean, I'm still doing color work, but there's rows that don't have any color work in it. So, but it's, you know, it's fingering weight. So that is in Stroll, Knit Picks Stroll Tonal. And in this bag I made myself. I think when I'm done, I'm going to make a skirt. I think when I'm done, I'm going to make a skirt out of this bag, or out of... out of this bag. I'm going to make a skirt out of this fabric because I have a lot of it, and I think that would be really fun to wear with my sweater. So anyway, I will be doing that. Okay, next, I'm trying to go fast because I have a lot to talk about. Oh yeah, next is my Everywhere sweater. This is a pattern by Knitty McPurly, Devon, and I have gone backwards on my sweater. It's so sad. Okay, so I'm knitting like the third, I can't remember if it's the 3rd or 4th size, whatever. You have to get to a certain number of stitches, you know, on like each section, the arms and the back and the fronts, you know, because it's raglan shaping. So I got to the number I was supposed to get to, and I did the thing where you separate for the sleeves, right? And then I tried it on, and my sleeve was really big. Now, I have not checked my gauge. Still haven't checked my gauge. But you know, it is quite gushy, and I looked at her sample when I was at the retreat, and it didn't look so squishy and gushy as mine. So I think my gauge might be poofier. But anyway, so what I did was I ripped it back, so it is much smaller now. And it's weird because you hold it up like that, but really it's like this is the next side. But it's harder to tell because this is on the needle, and it's my Progress Keeper by my friend Elizabeth. So I ripped it back to the next size down, so to the right numbers for the next size down. And now I'm not sure if it is deep enough for the arm, because it's like, I mean, you still have to pick up the neckband. I don't know, maybe it's fine. I have small shoulders, but I have big arms. So, well, you know, I don't know. So I think I'm just gonna go separate for the sleeves again. I have to kind of make sure everything's okay, because you know when you rip back, sometimes, I don't know, things get a little wonky. Like I noticed that on my first section I've got some yarn overs, or like stitches that I backward looped onto the thing. I cannot think. And I'm not sure that they're there on all of the sections, so I got to make sure my numbers are all good. But anyway, I think I'm just going to separate for the sleeves again and kind of try it on, because that's what helped me last time. Because I was wondering, you know, if I started over and knitted the next size down, it would take a little longer to get to that point where there's this many stitches, so it would be a little deeper. But since I'm at that point right now, I'm going to separate for the sleeves, try it on, see if it's deep enough. And if it's not, I think I'm going to start over and do the next size down. But that will be sad because this is a lot of work, even though it's bulky weight. And this is just some yarn I dyed myself. It's a bulky weight and a mohair held together. So I do want to work on that, but I'll admit it's in timeout a little bit because it's taken a lot of thinking, and I just haven't had it in me to do that. So next, this is the surprise visitor and my whips. So, okay, just a quick life update. Not that there's anything really to say. I've just had a rough couple of weeks. I don't know what's been going on exactly. Nothing was really wrong. I was just not in a good mood. I felt blah. And then Grady got sick and he had a fever. And when your baby is sick, like, it's not like when a kid is sick and you can say, you know, where do you hurt? Or how exactly are you feeling? You know, the baby just cries and you're frustrated. And so, you know, he had just like one day where he had a fever and he was cranky and I had to hold him all day. And so I was like stuck under a baby, which was fine. It was kind of nice, really. It was like a forced break, but of course it was stressful. Anyway, so that didn't help. But Toby, one of those days, and I think it was before Grady got sick, he was like, Mom, you're never going to finish my night sweater. You've made like 8 sweaters for yourself, you know, since you started my night sweater. And I was kind of like, oh, it's kind of true. So I got it out and I had made the front like up to the armholes, or maybe even not quite up to the armholes. And I had made the back, like, let's say, I don't know, a little bit, like 2/3 of the back. So the front, I want to show you, but then you'll see how much I have finished. The back is just a plain kind of gray pattern that I made up. It's like garter stitch, but there's like a row of stockinette stitch in between so that it's, it looks like, you know, armor or something. So it's called his night sweater. And then the front has like a tabard on it, you know, so it's like a blue panel with gold around it that's supposed to look like, you know, the standard or whatever. And I'm going to duplicate stitch something on that. More about that later. So because when I was doing the front initially, I thought, well, I'll get it up to the armholes and then I'll make it a raglan sweater because that's really easy. And then I'll put all the parts together and stuff. Well, as I'm going on the front has like gray, gold, blue, gold, gray. And I was doing intarsia, so that I had all these balls of yarn going. And it was a lot. And it was always getting tangled up. And that, you know, that right there was motivation not to work on it, right? So I was trying to imagine having all of these balls of yarn just on the front, plus, you know, having to do the sleeve and the back and the other sleeve and go in the round. And how was I going to do the intarsia in the round? And then I thought, well, I could leave one of the raglans open. And it was like, what's the point of doing a raglan? Anyway, it was stressing me out. So this is probably why I did not continue, because I'm just making this up, right? So then I decided, okay, why don't you just knit it in pieces and do a drop shoulder? Then you can just knit straight up the front, straight up the back, pick up the stitches for the sleeves, and go straight down and knit the sleeve. So that's what I decided to do. So, but I decided that before, I think. But anyway, I picked it up. Like I said, I had this much front, this much back. And also the front, when I knit the front, he was a lot smaller because this was several years ago. And so then when I cast on the back, I cast on more stitches. So the front was this big, back was this big. So here is what I have done. And of course, it's still on a needle, weirdly. It's going to be hard to see. I did the entire back. I did the entire front. I did some shoulder shaping, which I'm really proud of. I picked up along the front here and just knit some garter rows to make it match the width of the back. And I have done that also on this side. Am I done on this side? Yes, I'm done. Because as you can see, I did a 3 needle bind off on the shoulder. There's like strings everywhere. I did a 3 needle bind off on the shoulder, and I did it, you know how usually you do it on the inside so the seam is on the inside? I did it on the outside. I figured that would look more chain mail-ish. And also on this side, you can see what I did was I took the stitches that were on the garter stitch section, and I had a live stitch here, and then this was just the back, and I picked up a stitch here and 3 needle bound off this side. So I think it turned out really good. It's very firm, and it was so funny because I was doing this. I went all the way up to the shoulder. I just like got in a, I got in a, what's that word? I got in a groove, and I got all the way up to the shoulder, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go around and 3 needle bind off the shoulder, and I was like, wait a minute, where's the arm gonna come out? So I had to undo a big section here. So on this side, because what I wanted to do is have, be able to kind of like lay it open flat, pick up the stitches for the sleeve and knit the sleeve flat, because I don't mind seaming, but especially in the stitch pattern, I didn't want to have to do it in the round because I kind of got my rhythm going, because it's like knit, goodness, it'd be easier to show you on the back. It's like you knit a row, purl a row, purl a row, knit a row, purl a row, knit a row, knit a row. It's kind of like a weird thing. And then as you can see on the front here, I had my my chainmail pattern on the sides of the front, and then I have this gold is in garter stitch, the blue is in stockinette stitch. So as I went across the rows, sometimes it was like purling, knitting, 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 purling, knitting. It was crazy. No, this was always knit. Anyway, it was a lot to think about. But you know what? When Grady was sick, this is all I wanted to do. It was like mindless enough so that once I got going, I could just knit, knit, knit pretty much. But I think I needed something to think about, something else to think about. And so this was kind of a challenge just because I'm making it up and I have to figure it out spatially. I don't know. So on this side, I did not do the picking up of the stitches and the 3 needle bind off of the sides because I thought, well, I really want to do the sleeves. But now I've got to figure out how many stitches the sleeves are going to be so that I can put the rest of them on a holder or something and do the sleeve. And then I'll just have to write it down because I won't remember. And then I can do the other side and then I'll be done. Well, and the thing is, I think he wants a hood. I did this sort of split neck because the night sweater that I made for him before when he was a little boy from the pattern, because he's 12 now. He's a big 12-year-old. He's taller than me. He's very proud of being taller than me. Even though I was like, oh, stop growing. The one he had before had a split neck, and it had like a little like closure, on the like 2 buttons with a little closure. It was really cute. So I don't know if I'm going to do that again or not, but I thought I'd go ahead and do a split neck, and I'll see about the hood. I think when I'm done with this, I'm just going to give it to him. We'll see if it's still cold outside enough for him to wear it, but it should be really cozy, and I hope it will fit him for a long time. But we'll see. This is the thing about these kids. They keep growing and growing. Losing stitches. So, but it does feel really good to be working on this again and not to be putting it off, not to have it sitting there in my room. Anyway, so I got to keep working on this because I worked on it like a fiend for like a week. And then nothing. So I got to work on it. So next I have some new cast on news. Now, some of this stuff I have actually cast on. Some of it I just wound up the yarn on Valentine's Day. I really wanted to cast on a Valentine's Day project. I did not actually cast it on Valentine's Day, but I wound a ton of yarn, maybe the most yarn I've ever wound at one time. So I would like to talk to you about some of the things I'm going to be casting on in the very near future. Okay, do you remember this? I have been saving up my row 1 yarn subscription yarns, all of the neons. So I have been saving these because I want to make a sweater for Ivy out of all of these neon yarns. So if you've watched my previous episodes, my ice cream sweater is a sweater that I just made up. It was just a top-down raglan with 10-gram minis and a strand of mohair held together. And I knit that like a size 6, I think, and it's one of my favorite sweaters. So I want to do something similar with her, but I'm trying to remember to myself that I want to knit faster. So I'm trying to, I'm going to hold, first of all, this is just a yarn from Hobby Lobby, one of their Yarn Bee hand-dyed fingering weight yarns. I don't remember what the color is, but it's like white with neon speckles. So I'm going to hold this together, and then I think I'm going to hold 2 minis. So I'll have 3 strands of fingering weight. And what I did was, okay, so this is a whole 10 grams because I haven't cast this on yet. I need to figure out if I'm going to do an actual pattern or if I'm just going to wing it. There are pros and cons both ways, folks. This is a whole 10-gram mini. This is a roughly, and I haven't weighted or anything, but this is roughly half of a 10-gram mini because I wound some of it off. Why is it all tangled up now? I wound some of it off, and it's in a little ball here. Because what I'd like to do is have my colors fade. So I figured if I hold it with this, and this is the constant, and I'll probably need another one of these because it's just one. But then I'll have like, this one will run out, this one will keep going. So I'll start a new one here. I'll just magic knot it. I'll just pick a color. I don't know if I'm probably going to go kind of in a neon rainbow order. So I'll pick another color, and then I'll have, you know, these 2, and then this one will run out, and then I'll magic knot one onto this one, so that it will never be like, you know, both of these run out at the same time, because that would be much harsher stripes. So I'm really excited about that, and I really want to cast it on. But like I said, I think, I don't know, should I swatch? I don't know. What would, if 2 strands of fingering is a DK weight, what would 3 strands be? Would it be like a worsted or an Aran? That's what I don't know. Probably a worsted, right? I don't think it would be an Aran, although I think those differences are very small. But anyway, so I'm going to be casting that on for Ivy very soon. Okay, my next cast on, which is actually not cast on yet also, I took these 2 skeins out of my shop. They have been there since last summer, and I thought, well, I think I'm just going to use them. This is a wool silk blend, a DK. This is my Nancy colorway, named for Nancy Drew. So my daughter Mary, one of her favorite colors is yellow. So I wanted to make her a shawl. She is always borrowing my shawls, and I think she would love a shawl. So I don't know. I just want kind of a simple, probably triangular shawl with some kind of texture. I don't think I want to do lace. I want to do something that's pretty simple and easy to remember. So if you have, and this is in my Delightful Works bag with the kitties, if you have any ideas for a pattern that would be 2 skeins of DK weight, I would be very interested if you have any suggestions. So you can let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for that. I would like to get that cast on soon. And then here in my Sandy by the Lakeside bunny bag, little scissors you can see right here. I wound up this yarn that I've had for a long time. It's been hanging up in my room on my clothes hook. This is a sock set from Southern Storytime, and it's the Goodnight Moon sock set. So I love that book, Goodnight Moon. I think I have it memorized after all my kids. So I would like to knit him a sweater, and I'm thinking, I don't know, I've knit him 2 flax lights out of, one out of a mini skein set from Knitty McPurly and one out of another Southern Storytime sock set. So, and I had yarn left over. I had quite a bit of yarn left over the first time. So I'm thinking about just doing that again. I think that would be a good mindless knit. I just have to make sure that I have enough yarn to do the size that he would need, because I would like to do, like, I don't know, 3-year-old size maybe, just so that he can wear it for a while. So assuming I would have enough yarn in one skein to do that, I would do that. And then what I'd kind of like to do is to take this orange and duplicate stitch a big G on the front of his sweater. I think that would be so cute because they're so contrasty. So if it doesn't look like it's going to be enough yarn, I have this yarn left over from a baby sweater I knit for one of my friends who just had a baby. And this is my Ferdy and Cogs colorway from my Moss Flower collection. So I thought this is kind of like the dark version of the Goodnight Moon colors. So I might stripe it or hold it together. I don't know. But if I need more yarn, I think that's my plan for that. So, and then if I cast all these things on, it's a big if, right? I will have one thing for each of my kids except for Teddy. So I kind of need to think of something for him. The thing is, I know that Teddy is honestly the most knit-worthy kid, because I never have to tell him to wear his stuff I make for him. He just wears it till it falls apart. And so I don't want to be leaving him out. So I need to think of something. Either he really probably would like a new sweater, although he needs everything. He would wear a hat, probably even mittens. He's asked me to make him gloves, but I'm like, gloves? I don't know. I've made gloves before, and they are very fiddly. I know he would love socks, but of course he's got big man feet, and socks take forever. And then I'm afraid that he would lose them because, you know, teenage boy. So, but anyway, I need to make something for him. I guess I would like to make him a sweater. Okay, so some things for me that I would like to cast on soon. I have this in my long leaf project bag by Ray. I wound up my Knitty McPurly yarn from the retreat. This was our retreat exclusive colorway. I think the name of the colorway is Aurora, because there was a little tiny word on the tag that said Aurora. So I think that's what that meant. And then I bought a skein of her Frost colorway, which is a minty green. So I would like to make these into a brioche bandana cowl. I think these would look great with my jacket, my fake quilt patchwork jacket. I still have people that ask me if I made that, like, you know, strangers and stuff, and I'm like, no, but I really would love to make a jacket like that someday. So, but anyway, I think the colors would look great with this. And so brioche bandana cowl, I'm gonna try to keep my brioche skills going. But brioche is kind of slow, so that probably will be a long-term project for a little while anyway. And the other thing, let's see, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. So in my last podcast, I mentioned that I had found 2 of these skeins. This is my retreat exclusive colorway called Cozy Mountain Lake. This is in fingering weight. And I wound up one. I really probably should do another one, because at some point I'm going to need to alternate skeins, I'm sure. But at least I thought I could just get started. And I wound up some plain mohair silk yarn. So I'm going to make So excited. I'm going to make the Hepburn sweater by Knitty McPurly, which I bought the pattern for when it came out. And I'm not sure what happened to it, like electronically. I downloaded it and I don't know where it is, so I have to find it. But anyway, I have 3 skeins because I found another one. My roommate Emily mailed back my leftover yarn from the retreat. Thank you, Emily. And I had another skein in there, so I've got 3 skeins, and I've got also 3 skeins of bare mohair. So, but I'm not letting myself cast this on until my Everywhere sweater's done. So this is my, like, whatchamacallit, the carrot in front of my nose to get that thing done, because I really would like to do this, but you know, you just can't do everything. So, okay, I have one more whip, but this whip is in a new bag. I think I might have a little bag problem. So I asked my husband to get this for me for Valentine's Day, and he did, because he's the best. So here is mine. Yes, it's I Love Lucy. I love Lucy so much. It is probably my favorite old show. And this was so cute. This is from Random Fandom Bags. And look at Ricky. Oh my goodness. Look at Ethel and Lucy. There's 2 Lucys on here. And Fred. Even Fred is adorable. That's pretty amazing. So, and you can tell they took it from the Vitamita Vegemin episode and the chocolate episode. But it looks so Valentine because of the hearts and the chocolates. I love the old TV. I have not a 1950s old TV, but I have like a 1980s old TV that looks like this with the controls on the side and the wood. And I love that TV. My husband always wants to get rid of it, and I'm never going to do it. Anyway, this closes with snaps. And it's called a tea bag, and it has this adorable little leather tag. I don't exactly know what it's for, but it's so cute. So, and it has this interesting little D-ring up here. So I suppose you could clip stitch markers and stuff, or a handle or something onto there. And inside this little needle cozy that my roommate Emily made for me, I have a tiny little thing. And it is going to be a cowl. It's red. This is what I wanted to be my Valentine cast on, and it didn't happen, but I wound up the yarn. This was my like free goody gifty skein of yarn that I got at the retreat, and it's just a red Malabrigo. I think the color is called Blood Runs Cold. It's got stuff on it. And it's a DK, and I am just going to make a cowl. I want it to be like one of those like turtleneck cowls, you know, it looks like a turtleneck, but then it like spreads out a little bit and goes down your chest and stuff. I have my like dress coat is like a black plaid with red, you know, plaid. So I thought this would look really nice, and it's kind of a like a shawl collar coat, so it has like a big like V. So I you know, if I wear it and it's really cold, I feel like, woo. And I don't have, even though red is like one of my very favorite colors, red and green, I don't have any just plain red things that I could wear with it. So I'm hoping that this will fit. I looked for a pattern, a real pattern, and I couldn't find anything that was like I wanted in DK. And also, all of the patterns seem to start at the bottom and work your way up, and you need like 3 skeins. And I only have this one skein, so I just want to go till I run out of yarn. So I want to start at the neck and go down and hopefully kind of make like almost like a little dicky in the front and just go till I run out of yarn. So I'm working on that. So far it's just, you know, I'm just doing 1 by 1 ribbing. I cast on 96 stitches, and see, I had cast on like 84 stitches, and it was looking really small. So I tried it on, and I could get it over my head. Like, I mean, I took the needles out, so it was kind of like, it was kind of a mess. but I could get it over my head, but it was kind of, it wasn't tight, but it was close. So I ripped it all out and I cast on 96 stitches because I wanted a number that was divisible by 2 and 3 so that I could split it evenly between the 3 needles and also do the 1 by 1 ribbing. So I hope that works. We'll see. I seem to be doing a lot of experimental knitting right now, and I don't know. I just go through phases where it's like I just want to follow patterns, and then I go through phases where I just want to not follow patterns. So, but it's in my little bag, and I am so glad I have it. I just think it's so cute. So I'm going to be talking about some different Lucy things because I love Lucy. And it was kind of funny because I got this for Valentine's Day on Tuesday. And a few days before, I had gone to the thrift store. Okay, well, let me tell you the story. I have been wanting to go to the thrift store and look at the books because I haven't done that in a long time, and you can get some really good books for really cheap at the thrift store. So I was gonna go actually the day that Grady got sick, but then he got sick, and so I was like, okay, well, we can't go anywhere, and I took Ivy and Mary with me and bought them some books too, which was really fun. So we went on Saturday, and I found, this is the like my prize of the day. I found this. Look at this. Lucy and the Madcap Mystery. So not only is it Lucy, I mean, I think this is from her later show after I Love Lucy in the 60s, the Lucy Show. So with her kids. But it's a mystery and I love it. And I have a few other books that are TV show series spin-off type books. I'm trying to think, do I have any of them around here? I'm sure I do. Anyway, I have a Lassie one, and I have an F Troop one, and it seems like I have another one. But anyway, I was so excited to get this. So this is like, it's the Lucy theme show, and I was super happy to get that. Also, I wanted to show you a couple other books that I got at the thrift store. Everything I own is in a horrible pile and it's falling down. So I got 2 L.M. Montgomery books, who wrote Anne of Green Gables, and I have Anne of Green Gables, but I don't have any of the other Anne books like Anne of Avonlea or anything like that. I think my mom had them, so I'm kind of surprised I didn't take them, but I found this one, Anne of Windy Poplars, and this is not an Anne of Green Gables book, but it is called Emily of New Moon. And this is evidently a trilogy, and it looks really good. And I'm excited to collect these kind of books, these kind of classics. And I have 2 daughters, so I figure one of them may love these, and so I'm excited about those. And let's see, did I have any other books to talk about? I just wanted to mention, I just wanted to mention this book for my mouse book, The Lost and Found House by Consuelo, okay, I have no idea, by this person. And this is a very cute little book. I read this for the first time. Actually, my friend read it in my class. I'm teaching that what do people do all day class about jobs, and so we were talking about the steps to building a house, doing the foundation and then putting in the plumbing and the electricity and then putting on the walls and all that stuff. So I brought this book, and it's just about a mouse who finds a little doll house, and it's all a mess, and he fixes it up, and then it's just very cute. He has a lot of adventures, so I would recommend this as a cute little kid's book. Okay, now for some shop news from my Shop Mystery Mouse Yarn Company on Etsy. I am very excited to reveal my Murder, She Wrote collection. So let me show you what is in the collection. First of all, I have this. This is Jessica Fletcher, and this is Decay, but this will also be available in a sock set with 2 mini skeins. Jessica Fletcher. And the same thing with this. This is Grady Fletcher. And I think they look amazing together. Surprise, surprise. Grady Fletcher will also be available as a sock set with 2 mini skeins. So I sold out of those, so I will be dyeing more up of those. I finally got my yarn in. I also have this sock set called The Corpse Danced at Midnight. That is Jessica Fletcher's breakout novel that she writes in the show. And so that is like a gray going from a dark charcoal to a pale pink, and then it comes with this dark pink mini skein. And I have this crazy colorway, which is called Everybody's Been on Murder, She Wrote. Because this is kind of an inside joke, because my husband and I, we love old TV, right? TV from the, you name it, for the 50s through the like 90s. I mean, the 90s is not really old, but you know what I mean. And whenever we see somebody, we're like, where have we seen them before? Oh, they've probably been in Murder, She Wrote. Because Murder, She Wrote went through so many actors because they were on for 12 years. And they had to have basically a new cast every week or every time because, you know, they have like a different group for the mysteries. So this is called Everybody's Been on Murder, She Wrote. And when I was selling this, I had this purple mini skein with it. But I am out of the little purple mini skeins, and I have this silver mini skein. So I have 2 of these that are going to have the silver mini skein with them, which I think looks quite nice also. Then I also have Jessica Fletcher and Grady Fletcher available on mohair. And I have another sock set. This is called Cabot Cove. Cabot Cove is Jessica Fletcher's hometown in Maine. And so since it's Maine, I wanted to do red for their lobsters. And it's just kind of a blue-gray, like the sea and the sky. And I think this is great. This is a really nice patriotic color, too. Is that it? I also will have a Murder, She Wrote mini skein collection, which I sold out of at the show. And that has 5 mini skeins, and I think they're like a pale gold, lilac, fuchsia, minty green, and I'll have to look back at my pictures, and one other color. So I'll have that, and I'll have the Jessica and Grady sock sets. So, oh, now I do have, and I will have some Paddington Bear available in this shop update, and the Secret Garden shawl kit, which is not for any specific pattern. I would recommend maybe the Lefty by Martina Bain. And I will also have some of this. This is the color I knit my baby hat out of in the last episode. Was it the last episode? I think so. Or the episode before. I can't remember. Anyway, my brain is mush. But this is in Fingering Weight. And I think I'm going to call this the Floating Admiral because of that book I read. The Floating Admiral, written by all the famous mystery writers. So the shop update will be on Saturday, February 25th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's, I'm in Mountain Time, so I'm 2 hours behind. So it'll be 9 a.m. my time, and I guess 8 a.m. on the West Coast, right? So Saturday at 11, if you want some of this yarn, I hope that you will check out the shop up. I will put a link to my shop in the description box below, and any of the other yarn dyers or bag makers that I've talked about today. And my kids are getting loud. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to tell you. Like I said, things have been a little crazy here. And I'm sort of coming out of this like funk I've been in. And so be sure to let me know in the comments what you think about, I don't know, anything I've said. And if you have any shawl ideas for Mary's shawl, let me know. If you have any shawl ideas for Mary's shawl, let me know. And also let me know what you've been reading and working on. I'm always interested to see what people are doing. And I hope you're having a great February. I know February can be kind of an iffy month for people, but I hope that you're having a good one. And spring is coming, which I don't really, I love spring, but I don't like the summer. So spring is bittersweet for me. But I am looking forward to planting a garden. I am planning to plant a big garden this year. And so I'm already starting some seedlings and stuff. Maybe I'll snap a picture of them and you can see that. But I just hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again next time. Bye.